All right, well, first of all, thank you. My name is Scott Klosowski. This is Robin Smith. We're with WeGoLook. Robin actually is one of the founders of the company, and the company was founded almost 4 years ago. I've been with the company for about 3 years. I'm more the technology guy. She's more the business woman. You know, as Chris said and just kind of opened up for us, what we do is actually verification. And so that's actually where it all started was, you know, Robin and some of folks that she worked with had this idea that one of the problems out in the market today was there were a lot of people that were needing to purchase things or verify that things were a certain way. And, you know, there was no other way to do it other than getting on a plane or just trusting people. And so instead of doing that, we thought, you know, why don't we use crowd dynamics to try to actually provide some trust for people. And so that's really where the whole idea started. Now, we've been really interested in crowd dynamics for a long time. And you know, from a vocabulary standpoint, you know, words do matter. And so we've heard a lot of different variations of crowd. And you know, obviously there's a ton of things in the enterprise space today that people are doing around crowd. And so, you know, you look at terms like crowdvertising, right? You know, getting advertising by leveraging the crowd, right? Or crowdscribing, you know, getting documents written or books written, right, by using the crowd, right? So we have all these terms. And I actually think it is important that we have these distinctions. And so the word that we use quite a bit to describe what we do is crowd logistics. And so what we do is we allow organizations to outsource smaller tasks, especially verification tasks, that they either couldn't do in the past. And so they just had situations where they didn't do verification because it was too expensive. Or they actually had people that did it, but it was an expensive proposition to pay people to do it. And so we've been providing that. Now, you know, as a company, we're a pretty good entrepreneurial story because, you know, it's one thing in technology, you have this idea. You say, hey, let's go build a crowd to provide this service. You know, having the idea and actually being able to execute on it is a whole different matter. And so I said, you know, we started 4 years ago, but the first couple years was really a lot just putting together the quote-unquote crowd. Because, you know, we do basically managed crowdsourcing, right? So, you know, we didn't just go out to random people to provide these services. And we put together people that you could trust, where we got to know them and we know what their skills are. And so, you know, we do managed crowdsourcing, which means first we had to build the crowd to be able to even provide the services. And so that's really where it started. You want to make any comment about what it was like that first couple years putting that together?
There were a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. We actually recruited a lot of mobile notaries, process servers, field inspectors, people that we knew would be mobile and out in the field and would have access to different types of technology where they could kind of fit us into their workflow or their queue. So we kind of targeted those groups specifically, and we continue to recruit actively those type of people. But we also have expanded to very specific workers, people that mechanics, people that have auto body experience, veterans that have heavy equipment classification experience. Based on our enterprise clients and the requests that they have, we really try to focus on providing crowdsourcing with very specialized agents. So we continue to do that today.
And so the interesting thing is, you know, when you jump in and you build this crowd of workers and you start providing a service like this, one of the things that I remember in the early days is, you know, we were just guessing at all the different ways people might use this service. And, you know, we had a big list of ideas. And I remember, you know, just about every day Matt would come in with some other idea that he would dream up at night and put on the list. Right, that was going to be the next big idea that our crowd logistics was going to be able to serve. You know, but what we found over the last really 2 or 3 years are a number of examples of how people use it. And basically what we find is it really is all about trust. I mean, it is about how do I know that something is a situation that I want it to be, whether that's a product that I want to buy, a piece of heavy equipment or a vehicle, you know, or is it a piece of collateral that's in the state that I need it to be? Or is it a franchise that's opening at the time that it's supposed to open, right? But how do I verify, you know, some kind of trust? And so that's really step one, right, is that we have customers who come to us and say, hey, there's something that we need verified. Can we have your people do this kind of verification for us? And so then we go on to really the second step. The second step is, we have this crowd. The crowd is growing. As I said, it's a managed crowd. We filter who's in it. We know the people. Much like the folks that were up here before, it's not just, hey, there happens to be somebody in Cleveland, let's just send them out. I mean, we know the crowd, and we are getting to know them better and better, and we have a database that is tracking the kind of work that they do and what they've been good at. And this is not, college kids. It's not, it's not people that you would normally think. Again, so the average age is 42, right? I mean, for us, it's the same kind of thing. And the kinds of people, I can flash the pictures up, right? But the kinds of people come from all walks of life. But the thing that we're looking for are people that are absolutely dependable, right? People that when we need something verified and when we need it done under special conditions, we know we can trust them to do it. You've spent an awful lot of time with these people personally building it. Give us some examples of some of the people that really have done the best work for us so far.
We have some amazing agents, and I'm actually Facebook friends with some of them. That's how close we are with them at the office. We're on a first name basis with many of them. Our top agent in LA, he makes about $6,000 a month through us. He's very dependable. Obviously, we have a professional team. We call them our pro team of lookers. We've kind of broken our group into two groups. And it's similar to the presentation earlier. They receive all the first notifications. These are agents that have they've proven themselves, they're professional. Something that is very important to us is our lookers are representing our company. And not only that, they're on behalf of who our client is. So if it is the JP Morgan Chase, our looker is representing the bank. And so we have to be very careful about who we do choose and who our agents are. But we have pastors, we have school teachers, we have just a unique group of people that we really like to keep busy.
All right, so the final step, of course, is that we have to provide the verification. And that looks different depending on the kind of work we're doing. And so, we have a generic type of report that we would provide to somebody, but we also have very specialized reports. We'll explain one in a second when we go over a case study. But we're actually able to not only provide our default forms. If an organization has their own type of verification form, then we can work with their form as well. Photos, videos, whatever it is that the client needs to be able to have the trust that they want to have, that the situation is the way they would like the situation to be. So those are the three steps, right, in the process. Just to give you a quick idea of the kinds of things that we do, there's all kinds of examples. We just tried to pick maybe a spread of three that would be interesting. Like the medical transport solution folks, they provide people driving people to a hospital, or people driving people to a medical facility. Typically it's somebody that's older, but sometimes it's just somebody that has, that is getting surgery and needs a ride home, right, and just doesn't have that ride home. But in order to provide that, you can't have people going and picking them up in a jalopy, right? It can't be the hoopty picking them up from the hospital. It's got to be a decent vehicle. There's obviously liability issues there. And so the company needs to make sure that the people that they're hiring to do this driving, that the vehicle is appropriate. And so we do that verification for them, because obviously it'd be expensive for them to have to send an employee out to check that all the time. Ordermatic is a sign company, but they create, it's more than just signs, they create really pricing units for drive-ins. And so a lot of the franchisors that have drive-thrus like Sonic, they're constantly changing out this kind of equipment, and they're constantly redoing the look and feel of their franchisees' locations. One of the big problems that they've had is the folks at Ordermatic, when they go out to put the signs in, it has to be put in at the right time in the remodel or the right time in a build. And what they were getting caught in is a lot of times people were saying, well, be there on Thursday the 1st. They'd show up on Thursday the 1st and the site wasn't ready. So then they'd have a crew sitting around till the 3rd, which means hotel bills, and the people that are putting the signs, they eat a lot. I don't know what the deal is, but they eat a lot, so the per diem is high. Right? And so it's a big deal if they showed up at the wrong time. And so they use us to verify that, hey, you really can bring somebody on site. And our fee to do the verification is about 1 meal for a sign putter in her. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. All right, heavy equipment, right? If you look at now a sale, one of the things that was actually early on that we started doing was verifying the quality of something that was being sold. You know, that could be a car, that could be a boat, that could be a printing press, right? Or that could be a piece of heavy equipment. The reason that this case study is interesting is, now you're verifying a bulldozer or an excavator. So you're verifying a pretty large and expensive piece of equipment. And this type of verification is not just a go shoot 2 photos and you're done kind of verification. Right? There is a specific kind of form that they want filled out. They want a specific set of photos that are taken from different parts of the device. Right? They're very specific things you have to check. And so for this client, it's a little bit of a higher dollar look that we have to do, and we have to fill out their form to do all of this. And it has to be done quickly because they're in an auction format. So when they need a verification done, they can't wait 5 days to get this thing done. And so just the kind of case studies of the things that we've been involved with from the enterprise side.
And just to add on to that, what's interesting is you can have heavy equipment video. We take video of a working demonstration. And so it may start, but then if you ask them to drive in a figure 8 and the asset just goes in a circle, that gives the buyer a really good indication that there's some issues. So working video is an integral part of what we do on a lot of our higher assets. So it's great.
Yeah, you think about just oil leaks, right? On the heavy equipment, the kind of thing that you get into. In the old days, somebody would just take a picture of an excavator and say, hey, it's in good shape, here it is, look how nice it looks. Well, of course, they had polished it up. And what you don't see is that the thing's leaking oil. And what happens when you have a looker goes is they look underneath it, of course, and you see a big pile of oil and you realize that there's probably an issue, right? So there's a big difference between just trusting the picture versus having somebody actually verify. Now, for us, because we spend a lot of time thinking about crowd dynamics, to us it's all about the hive mind. That's really what we're doing is we're trying to turn our crowd into the hive mind. And we just make that differentiation for you because it's not just the workers, right? It's that we also are trying to make sure, like we said, we have a stratification of workers that have expertise. So you're not just sending somebody out to just look at something. You're sending somebody out that's got expertise to look at something. If somebody's verifying a car, it's somebody that actually understands something about cars. And so you're tapping into the minds, not just somebody snapping photos. And that's a big difference. I mean, if you're the one spending thousands of dollars or if you're the one that's on the hook, right, you want somebody out there that actually has a mind and can understand what they should be able to do. So at the end of the day, there's really a couple things that we do with the crowd logistics. For individuals, we actually help people not be defrauded. And that was really kind of where we started originally. As we move more and more into enterprise, really what we're all about is just amplifying profits. All right, we give people solutions so that they can make sure that they can have a situation be the way they want it to be, right, for the lowest amount of money possible, which is really just all about amplifying profits. So
it's important to really think about what can you do with a crowd of that many agents who are very capable. We can do same-day shipping. We can pick up items and deliver. We can go to courthouses and copy documents. There are so many different things that we can do besides just taking photos, measurements, video, answering dynamic field data. And we work on white label products. There's a lot of ways we can integrate through our API. So whether you're a bank, financial institution, if you're looking at even online dates, there's a lot of different ways that we can help verify.
Yeah, let's be honest. Online dating verification was Matt's idea, right?
No, that was mine.
Oh my gosh.
Because I tried that once.
You didn't have to say it out loud.
Well, it's okay. I'm willing to talk about it.
That's how you found Matt, wasn't it?
No.
All right, so anyway, we really think this is just the way that really small verification tasks are going to go. And so, we've been really excited with how fast the company has grown. And it was a tough first 2 years getting the foundation laid to build the managed crowd. But now it's just a lot of fun because we just have more and more clients coming in all the time. And so we're excited about where it's going in the future. So if there's any questions we could answer, we would be glad to.
So at lunchtime when I saw your name, I texted my 19-year-old sophomore college daughter, and I told her to sign up with you. She's a sophomore in engineering, and within 30 minutes she texted me back. She said, I have to be 21. So can I tell her that she doesn't have to wait 2 years for that?
You can talk to our legal department and insurance company about that. Well, we did look at hiring, 18 and above, but we really felt like the 21 age as far as threshold is concerned does help us as we're moving forward with a lot of the different vertical categories that we're working with. Not to say there were some wonderful 19-year-old, 18-year-old responsible adults, and we may incorporate that at some point, but just as a company, we really felt like we wanted to start at the 21 age group and up.
It's philosophical too, because if you're doing a crowdsource task where somebody is competing, then there's no reason to have an age limit, right? But when you're doing a crowdsource task where you're representing a large bank, or you're representing, Caterpillar, or you're representing a big company, and you're going to have to be on a job, if we're going to have a trusted workforce or a trusted crowd-based workforce, we had to draw some line somewhere. So tell her it's not personal.
Is this within the U.S. or somebody had outside basically?
Yes, we've actually launched in the UK, Australia, and then we have limited coverage in Canada, but we're working on that.
Can it be inter?
Oh, of course. Yes. Yes, absolutely. One reason that we really started looking at other countries is we had a lot of international interest. A lot of our heavy equipment inspections actually come from overseas. People wanting to purchase items here, we can definitely save them a trip. We help them with transport decisions. We tie in a lot of other post-purchase services for them. We really want to be a resource for the buyer, but we can also be a resource for the seller. That's something we could really talk about, all the different things that we can do, but if a seller were to actually have us come out and catalog a car, motorcycle, boat, and take the photos for them, they could include that third-party verification report. We're an unbiased company. So that actually gives the seller credibility within their listing that it has been verified by another company. So we can actually help sellers as well. So we started our model based on eBay. We really wanted to be in each eBay listing that said, order an inspection service to help avoid fraud, and it's just really grown organically, and we have so much business now with the enterprise clients. So, yes.
How many of you are Trekkies?
Trekkies? Well, that's how Matt and I met, actually. So.
You noticed that, huh?
Well, the Hive mind and
The Borg, exactly. You'll be assimilated. Yeah. That's very good.
Yeah.
I was waiting for 7 and 9 to come.
It's the 40-plus crowd. I like that term. Whoever came up with that today, part of that group. So yes, I'm a Trekkie.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.